Hello everybody, this is Sonic Whacker 55 here, back here with another review. This time I'm reviewing the figures, and this is my very first review that I've ever done reviewing on the figures. And I'm reviewing the first 4 figures Sonic minifigure collection. In the set there's Metal Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, Super Sonic, and Amy. And I'll be talking about all of the usual points. Well, 4 actually. I'll be talking about the materials, sculpt/paint job, pros and cons, and warnings. So let's get started off with materials. Now, what materials they use on these little figures? Well, it's plastic. They use plastic for all of these. So that's all of the materials that they use for these figures. Now, next up is sculpt/paint job. Now, sculpts, well, these guys have really nice sculpts. Now, paint. Well, usually when you get these figures, some of you guys might be saying that these are really bad, but at least on mine, when it comes down to the figures, I guess they do look really good. Well, at least on mine. Maybe some of you guys might not like it. Well, when it comes down to the paint, probably because these figures are way too small, I guess you can't paint them right. Well, because these guys are very small. Well, when you usually get Sonic, well, for the paint, I guess it might look good, but the only problem is his nose. What were they even thinking about his nose? When you get this, but the paint is not really good, it would probably be this area, it would be the same color for its nose, which is kind of weird. Actually, I meant the nose would be the same as this area. Next up, his Knuckles. Well, usually on Knuckles, I guess he does look that he's good for the painting, but usually his eyes, they're not usually good. They're not painted enough. The eyes are not painted enough at all. Well, classic Super Sonic, I guess he looks alright. Next up is Amy, and well, I guess she does look pretty good. So I can't give any more complaints about her when it comes down to the paint. Next up is Tails, and maybe he could have a little bit of more paint. Well, probably for his nose, maybe a little bit. And maybe his mouth. But at least on mine, I guess it does look good. Now for the paint, last but not least, is Metal Sonic. Well, maybe on this area, you see this little circly thing on Metal Sonic? Maybe it might be a little bit hard to paint. So I can't judge first 4 figures for that. Well, that's probably all I have to say for Metal Sonic. And that's it for sculpt/paint job. Now, next up is pros and cons. Now, these are minifigures. They are like collectibles, and they're all in 6-pack. They usually come together in a box. I think these were made in 2010. Also, these guys have their own series. They have 2 series. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are considered Series 1, and Super Sonic, Amy, Rose, and Metal Sonic are considered Series 2. And I think these guys have been re-released by Jazwares, well, both individually and all together in a 6-pack. And guys, I think some of these guys might be in 1x1, and I think, well, I don't know if I'm right, but I think it has something to do with the last release. Maybe it has something to do with the last release, but I'm not sure. And well, when I got these guys, they came 1x1. All of these 6 figures have been released in a large box set to commemorate Sonic's 20th anniversary. Now, on 23rd of July 2010, it was announced that attendees at the Summer of Sonic 2010 would receive a Metal Sonic figurine. This was the first time that a Metal Sonic figurine would be available anywhere in the world. So, this is probably the only Metal Sonic figurine which is only available in the whole world. So this is probably the very first Metal Sonic figure, I think. I'm not sure, but I think this looks really nice. Now that was it for pros and cons. Now last but not least is warnings. Now guys, I think some people that buys these figures, I don't think they like them anymore because they have been been bootlegged like so much. Like if you look up Sonic figure on eBay, you'll see these guys for a very cheap price, and there are like loads of them available. Like every time they're always there. They're always bound for some reason. Like why? And also guys, when you like get these guys, they can break off very, very easily. So you have to be very careful with these guys because they are really bad. The paint is not good, and how they can stay perfectly. Like for example, like if these guys break very easily, these like could break like in a few hours or days. So probably you have to be very careful about that. Also, when you get these guys together in a box, they would usually have age requirement, even though if it can be overlooked. Even though if it might say for older people or for collectors. So this is probably it. Now, where you can get them, you can get it off eBay, and if you're lucky, Amazon. I got all of these guys off Amazon probably like 2 years ago. Like on my birthday 2 years ago. And guys, some of you guys might not like these figures, and probably you guys have to be very careful with these so they don't break off very easily. So yeah. And guys, these were probably the only set, but when it comes down to the figures that I could use for my stop motion videos, for example like Metal Sonic, Tails, Knuckles Sonic, Amy, and Super Sonic. I use these guys in my stop motion videos, and I guess they do look pretty good. Oh yeah, which one's my favorite from the set? Well, probably Metal Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Probably the more detailed ones that could probably be better is Sonic and Metal Sonic. Okay, well, I meant Super Sonic. Well, Super Sonic doesn't look that bad. I mean, like, his spikes, I guess they do look pretty good, but probably his face could add more detail into it. And I guess his pose does look pretty good, so probably I will give this figure probably 9 out of 10. Maybe this could be a little bit better. But still, I guess it does look like a really nice Super Sonic figure, and, well, for Sonic, his face is really, really weird. Like, what the hell? What were you thinking, Festival Figures or Jazwares? Like, what were you thinking? These look really weird. You could add more detail into it. So I'm probably going to give this 8 out of 10. It needs more detail for me to be happy. And for Metal Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, I'll give these guys 10 out of 10. Because these are really nice. These are probably the only figures in this set, which is probably my favorite. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my very first review on my figures. So don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And well, I don't like these figures a lot, but I guess they do look really nice. So thanks for watching guys, and check out my other reviews and unboxing videos that I do. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this professional review. Well, maybe. But thanks for watching, and goodbye.